Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Motor City Uncut, episode 158, presented by the Major Sports Network, Detroit. I'm your host, Dorf, joined each and every week by, actually, we have the whole crew here tonight, again, 2 episodes in a row, even though it's been, 3 weeks since we've been on? Man, we've gone...
It's going on our third week, but we're back on our third week.
Twice in, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Array holidays and random acts of, household appliance suicide. Did you get that fixed?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how'd that go?
It's all taken care of. We're good. Got a nice washer. I just hate having to spend the money on a new washer,
Mm-hmm.
But
hopefully, you don't have to do it for another decade or so.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. But I mean, it is what it is.
All right. So, last but not least, we almost had another Prince Fielder trade episode going on here, where we're live on air from a rumor starting to be a rumor to actually coming down. While we're on air, in the span of a half hour, it went from the Pistons are talking with the Clippers about Blake Griffin to, oh, by the way, Blake Griffin's a Piston.
Mm-hmm.
25 minutes. Blake Griffin, yes, as you may have seen reported about an hour ago, is now a member of the Detroit Pistons. Pistons ship Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, and a protected first in a 2019 second rounder for Griffin, Willie Reed, center Willie Reed, and power forward, Bryce Johnson.
Yeah.
Reed is essentially was the backup center, backing up DeAndre Jordan, playing a couple minutes a night, and Bryce Johnson barely plays. So, but you got Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Got the best player out of all the deal for Tobias Harris, he's a nice player.
That's the player that most Pistons fans are going to miss.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're adding Blake Griffin, you don't have room for Tobias Harris, so who cares?
Right.
Correct.
And Bradley, who sucks, and you're going to resign anyway.
I wouldn't say he sucks.
Yeah, I would say he sucks. I mean, he's honestly, injury prone.
No.
But...
Hear me out. If you look at the productivity, points added offensively versus points saved defensively, he's one of the worst players in the league. Avery Bradley.
Dude, look at Blake Griffin. Look what he posted to Twitter after the trade.
What is it?
Ooh.
It's a picture of Will Smith when he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just
show the camera,
making a.
Bring it right over. Give me here.
Yeah, you wanna put it on?
Just put it.
Okay, sorry, Dorf. Go ahead.
Yeah, that first round pick is top 4 protected for the next 3 drafts, and is unprotected in the draft after that, and then the second round pick is from this next draft. Second rounders or whatever. Who cares? Although you can get Jordan Bells in the second round. Jordan Bell's pretty good. Yeah.
It's a good trade.
It's not a terrible trade,
right? It's not awful. It's not amazing, but it's a good trade. The only thing that I'm thinking of why kind of doing this is maybe they're going to try to get another
butts and seats, man.
Right, exactly. Fill the seats, and maybe in the offseason they might, with him being here, they might try to get another big name free agent to come in. I don't know.
It has to be a guy that can create his own shot.
Well, I have a potential 2019 free agent list tracker up right now.
Who do you have?
The one guy that I'm intrigued off the top part so far is Klay Thompson. I wouldn't mind seeing him
can't create his own shot.
Well, we have to. You know what? You have to see what Klay Thompson is outside of Golden State.
Right. Exactly.
Doesn't drive to the hole. Cannot.
But the thing is, playing in Golden State, how does he have the opportunity?
Exactly.
If anything, you can't double him when he drives to the hole. If anything, it should be to his advantage.
But he has to get the ball too. That's
not the right fit.
I think
what?
I think that or
Sean. I think that could be one. But go ahead.
Right.
Good luck though.
Obviously, there's the big names that I wouldn't even there's LeBron, Kevin Durant, Carmelo, all that, whatever.
I don't want Melo.
I don't want
Melo
either.
Say, I'm he's a little up there in the age as West. out of Dallas. And I'm like,
he's a 3-and-D.
right.
Don't need him.
So I'm saying there's nobody really crazy. Maybe you could say Ricky Rubio. I don't know.
No.
I'm just saying, like,
speaking of like the
list,
performance curves,
right?
Him and Avery Bradley are like
pretty much the same.
The worst.
That's what I'm saying. Looking at this list, there's really not much off this tracker. You could maybe say Paul George. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to end up in LA.
I'm like,
the only way he doesn't end up in LA is if LeBron ends up in LA.
Right.
And even then, he still might end up in LA.
So that's what I'm saying. There's nobody besides really Klay Thompson that's like clicking off of here. Like, there's no big time power forwards or anything.
You don't need a power forward anymore. You got Blake Griffin.
I'm just saying, I'm like.
Honestly, you know what? The best thing that they might be able to do here?
Maybe re-sign Tobias Harris.
No.
He's
because he's under contract for the following season anyway, and there, you're gonna have to trade Drummond too.
Like, fine.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Do it.
Yeah,
if you're gonna trade Drummond right now too, then you can go sign DeAndre Jordan. He's gonna be.
I don't want DeAndre Jordan.
I'm just saying if it's something like that.
No, but I'm saying no because you're basically replacing Andre Drummond with Andre Drummond. If that's the case. So.
Yeah, Andre Drummond, who's like 6 years older.
Yeah.
No, like 8 years older.
Yeah, I don't want DeAndre Jordan.
I don't need DeAndre Jordan.
What about
and you'd be working with the entire almost the entirety of the Clippers.
What do you know? You got the Clippers front court,
right?
No, I don't need. I would much rather go the Golden State route. I don't care who's playing center. It could be the untalented Zaza Pachulia.
Well, there's a guy on here that I'm probably gonna botch his last name.
Center doesn't matter.
No, he's not center. He's power forward. He's
you don't need a power forward.
But for next year, I'm saying if Drummond, listen to me, motherfucker. Let me talk. Shut your mouth.
You play the 5.
No, I'm saying Blake Griffin would be power forward still. You just have this other guy. If you were just saying, I don't care who's playing center or whatever. Just get out. That's
who's your other guy?
His name is Nikola Mirotic. I think he plays in Chicago.
Mirotic?
Yeah, whatever. He's a free agent.
He's been
rumored to the Pistons. Yeah, he's a 3-point marksman.
There we go.
I wouldn't mind him.
That's what I'm saying. He's only 26.
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah, he also takes punches from Bobby Portis pretty well.
Well, guess what? If you make 3-pointers, you can take as many punches as you want.
That's I'm with you. You know what? I'm with you, Sean, on the Klay Thompson thing. I think that's a guy that the Pistons are really going to go after this offseason. So, and you know what? I'm sorry too. Anybody out there who doesn't like this deal, I don't know what you were expecting, because the Pistons have been rolling with a lineup like this forever.
Yeah.
Forever. They've always been rolling out with guys who are just, you know what?
Above,
okay.
you had 5 above average. You know what? If you look at those productivity curves, Andre Drummond's elite. And that's fine. You know what? I'm willing to give them that. But other than that, you've got a bunch of guys that hover around the median.
Exactly. And I'm sorry. I like Tobias Harris too. Mm-hmm. I did. I really did.
He's a nice 3rd, maybe 4th
Yes,
option.
but you know what? Tobias Harris, as this roster's been constructed, wasn't doing anything for you. You look at the Pistons. The Pistons lost 12 of 15. They've lost 8 straight games. They're going nowhere right now. They're spinning their wheels right now. You can't have this same. Right. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Goris called down to Van Gundy and be like, "Hey, man, we need some butts in the seats here. There's nobody going to these games. There's nobody
to show up.
There's nobody interested in this team." All of a sudden, you get a guy like Blake Griffin into the starting. Head down to the LCA and check out what the Pistons are doing.
Right.
I mean, this is you're taking care of 2 different things with this. Are the Pistons better with Blake Griffin?
Absolutely.
Yes. Is he a much better draw than Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley?
Are you in a much and are you in a much better financial position going forward? Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a good deal. This is one of those good deals for both teams.
Right. And like going back to like what you said, Andre Drummond is the only really elite guy that you have. But if you have somebody who's like that, it's a big man. Obviously, he's not handling the ball like a point guard. You need a point guard or a guy
Andre
like
Drummond cannot create his own shot.
Right, exactly.
Andre Drummond,
you need somebody who can create your own shot. Like you're saying, we don't have a point guard. We don't have a shooting guard. You need that elite shooting guard or point guard.
They do have a point guard. Reggie Jackson is their point
Okay,
guard.
he's
Reggie
on
Jackson
the DL,
will-
I'm like, he's
Right.
not.
You know what? Right now, this year doesn't matter. You're punting the rest of this
Right,
year.
exactly. But I'm saying,
Who cares?
before this, you needed that guy, but you're saying, like you said, Adam, they're rolling out these...
For a second-round pick, to a contender down the stretch because they need a 10th guy off the bench, and it might be Tolliver for some dude that you're going to cut immediately and a second-rounder just to start recouping picks. You got to start doing that. Especially when you're going to be spending close to $40 million on Blake Griffin at the end of his deal, just by himself. You got to get guys that play for essentially free.
Well, but like I said,
They're actually good.
Yeah, I think Stanley Johnson could be a guy you get some draft picks for. I think you can.
You won't.
But,
Stanley Johnson he's burnt. He's burnt toast.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm saying I think he's the only one on our bench.
I was surprised if they're calling for more draft picks with the Stanley Johnson deal.
No.
Yeah, we'll take Stanley Johnson off your hands. Include him first.
You're not going to get anything for Stanley Johnson.
No,
he's done.
You won't.
He's toast. His value in this league is gone.
Yes.
I agree. All right, Dorf.
All right, time to.
All right, Dorf.
Depressing shit.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you want some time to take this?
No.
Do we have some mellow music we can play?
I think that would be disingenuous at this point. So we're talking Larry Nassar the rest of the night.
What until?
Okay.
Wait a second.
Adam gets a chance to use the Tigers uniforms at the end.
Thank you. That's all I want.
We're doing
this is like a 45-minute rant for you.
We're doing Michigan. That's not even going to be a rant. We're going to do Michigan State and Larry Nassar for the rest of the thing. You know what? Yeah. Unfortunately, it took this long for justice to be served in the court of law, but it has been served. Guy's never going to see, he's never going to breathe free air for the rest of his existence. He's got no shot for that. It's sad it took this long, but you can't undo the past. You can only hope to be better moving forward, and that's that. But as far as the handling, I can't complain how the trial went after things got rolling. You know what? I can't blame the state of Michigan for appointing a special investigator or special prosecutor, however you want to term that, to look into all things Michigan State. I can't blame people going after the trustees and demanding the ultimate and getting the resignation of the university president and the athletic director. I can't be mad about that because that's all legitimate. And you know what? I think you could have had Leanna K. Simon survive this if her, reactions in the wake of it weren't so tone deaf. She could
Indoor
people will burn.
Do you think that's going to affect the sports program, like football?
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there. So yeah, the last thing you want to do, you know what? Rightly or wrongly, yes, people, because they work for the athletic department, will go down as collateral damage, whether they had anything to do with it or not. But the blatant attempt to get by, I'm going to say by ESPN specifically, to try and get the pitchfork and torch mob riled up and go after two other programs who are only extremely tangentially involved, and specifically two coaches who have given you no reason to believe that they were involved at all, trying to go after those two teams and those two programs and those two men specifically, that's horseshit. The Outside the Lines piece that aired on Friday was taped in August of 2017. It never aired until this Friday because it was deemed to be a nothing burger. They had nothing. The result of that the same journalist who was the focal point of all of this, the investigator, did a investigative piece about Michigan State athletics in 2015.
Paula Levine.
Yes, in 2015, trying to figure out whether student athletes were getting preferential treatment or not. You know what the results for investigation were?
Go ahead.
They got treated the exact fucking same as the regular student body. They didn't get preferential treatment. Now, less than 2 years later, based on the same research, nothing new here. All of a sudden, that you're gonna flip the verdict based on no new information about the football and men's basketball programs. Come on, that is irresponsible journalism, and ESPN's setting up to get sued. It would be incredibly... the optics on Michigan State suing ESPN for journalistic malpractice, slander, libel, because, it's both now written and spoken. Mm-hmm. It'll be terrible optics, but you know what? Fuck it. Go swing for the fences. Your optics are already blown.
Well, there's already the...
Yeah,
there's already the litigation between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN's already sued Michigan State for, Freedom of Information Act several times.
And they got it.
Yeah.
And Michigan State had to pay for the attorney fees for ESPN. Yeah.
Guess what? This is irresponsible journalism. You're trying to hang Mark D'Antonio for his handling of 4 players accused of sexual assault in 2016. Trying to hang that around him, saying there's this culture of sexual abuse throughout the Michigan State athletics. They ejected them from the program less than 20 minutes after they were charged. They said, fuck due process. Whatever. These guys are gone. Yeah, they refused to name them or acknowledge that they were the subject of the investigation up to that point. And I defended them for that at that point. You know why? Allegations of sexual assault, whether or not they tend to be true or not, ruin people forever. Better be damn sure they're right before you levy those accusations publicly. See, Lacrosse, Duke. You had multiple people in that case, their lives ruined forever over something that turned out to be bullshit. So you better make sure you're right. And you know what? The second, if a prosecutor, a criminal prosecutor has enough to charge, charges aren't filed by prosecutors if they don't have it. If they're not sure. They don't waste their time if it's not essentially going to be a layup.
Well, that's why what Magic Johnson said today it was actually really good. If Magic Johnson came out today and he said if anybody knew about this and did nothing, they should be fired. And I'm assuming,
and if they can be held criminally liable under current law and statutes, by all means, fire away.
And I'm assuming William Forsythe, who was the special prosecutor named in this, former Kent County prosecutor. If this is what turns up, then yes, those individuals who are complicit in all of this should be gone, and possibly looked at having charges filed against them, depending on the circumstance, depending on the context. So people are going to make that assumption that Mark D'Antonio and Tom Izzo knew more than what they're leading on. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Is it fair to go and crucify them over something like this right now? Absolutely not, because nobody knows any of the details regarding this.
And here's the thing, you know, the cry for an independent investigation, specifically the 2016 Mark D'Antonio football thing, that already happened. They already did that. Mm-hmm. University paid for an independent investigation to determine whether or not their protocol was followed. It was followed to a fucking T by Mark D'Antonio. It wasn't by Curtis Blackwell. He ended up following the protocol after a day's hesitation. He got fucking canned for that. There wasn't a slap on the wrist. He got fucking that man will never work in Division I athletics ever again. Because he hesitated. Mm-hmm. The investigation's been done, and you know what? I don't understand even how you would tangentially try and bring men's basketball into this. Outside of Keith Appling going bananas after he left the university, you're looking at Travis Walton stealing a bike and allegedly, being involved in something, but there was never charges filed. Never really even got to, there wasn't even civil litigation filed either.
You're talking about the rape?
Alleged, yeah.
With the two other players?
Oh, there was that too. But you know what? There wasn't enough to charge. There wasn't enough to charge. I don't believe they were disciplined by the university. Yeah, fine. You could show a institutional wide cover up for that. You could. And you know what? If that will be found by this special investigator, and if there is one,
and if it comes out there was more to that, then
it's been publicly available now.
Then you go from there.
There's consequences. Then you go from there.
You go from there.
But to this point, there's no evidence available publicly to indicate that was the case. I don't get it. It's just an irresponsible hit piece by a desperate company for ratings. You know what? They don't share. It would be one thing if this was like the head athletic trainer of the entire institution and Dr. Nasser worked on athletes from those other two teams. Mm-hmm. Or their players were witness to these activities and they didn't say anything. Or there was a cover, they were told not to say something. Those guys aren't even traded in the same building. Mm-hmm. Those players had no opportunity by the same medical team. There's no opportunity for them to be witnesses of it. And I didn't see nothing. There was no opportunity for that. It's just irresponsible journalism and then, at the same time, though, Barstool Sports tried to, if you did, by all means, go nuts. But you don't have that. And to try and manufacture that by ESPN, that's horseshit. That's absolute horseshit. Because you know what? It's not just a game being played with no consequences where everybody goes home the same person at the end of the day, like a basketball game. You fuck over real people here. You end lives and career, not literally ending lives, but you ruin lives and end careers of innocent bystanders here. You know what? They might not even knew Larry Nasser existed because they're not involved in that. That's outside their where their vision, where they see. There are legitimate people who could be fucked by this. Consider that before you publish a piece of trash like you did on Friday, and then not backing down, not saying "whoops, our bad." Irresponsible, and then doubling and tripling down on that horse shit all weekend.
One thing here, Dorf, that is, again, I don't know if this is going to connect to Izzo. I don't know if anything is going to come out of this or D'Antonio.
And if it does, you know what? We'll investigate. And if if they are complicit in covering up a crime, they should burn for it. They're paid for the penalty. They should pay for it.
Yeah,
with their jobs.
One thing here is, and this is from the Outside the Line article.
Sure.
Michigan State sexual assault counselor Lauren Alsweed, who left the university in 2015 over frustrations about how administrators handled sexual assault cases, told Outside the Lines that MSU administrators' entire approach to such cases has been misguided for years. The biggest issue, Complaints involving athletes were routinely investigated and handled by athletic director Hollis's department and sometimes even coaches, she said. Quote here, whatever protocol or policy was in place, whatever frontline staff might normally be involved in response or investigation, it all kind of swept away, and it was handled more by administration and athletic department officials, says Alsweed, who worked at MSU for 7 years. It was all happening behind closed doors.
Show me some receipts for that.
None of it was transparent or included people who would normally be involved in certain decisions. Let's see.
That's a hell of an accusation. I want proof. And if there is proof, let's go.
Also, we told outside the lines that about 7 years ago, an attorney from the university's general counsel's department came to her office to try to reassure that coaches were taking allegations of sexual violence seriously. Also, it said the attorney told her how D'Antonio, the football coach, had dealt with a sexual assault accusation against one of his players. He had the player talk to his mother about it, about what he had done.
I want names, dates, and receipts.
Okay.
Otherwise, this is an empty accusation.
And you know what? Maybe that's what we'll get from the special prosecutor. Fine. And if it comes out, then again, we'll go from there.
And I also saw I'm going to forget names, and this is Twitter, so bear with me about its legitimacy or otherwise. Also saw some sexual violence, essentially organizational consultant, bitch about on Twitter how she had spoke with Tom Izzo for like an hour previously and taking it seriously. You know what that probably has a lot to do with? It's not that it's not taking sexual violence or, partner violence seriously.
Yeah.
It's more like I'm not paying you to come in to tell us to do the same thing we're going to keep doing. I'm not wasting my time, effort, and money on this. It's probably what that was.
Could have been.
Yeah, very well. I can't say definitively that it was, but there's a pretty good chance that the reason that you were getting the reaction and response you did, I don't have more important shit to do, but we're already doing everything you're suggesting anyway, so I'm not going to pay you to come in and tell us to do that, just so we look good and you get money.
I like the steps the Michigan Attorney General has taken with this. I think that it's something that had to be done. They're going to take a look at every corner of the Michigan State Athletic Department, which they
It's not even just the athletic department; it's going to be the whole university.
Yeah, which should absolutely be done. And if something comes up, then deal with it. Mm-hmm. If something comes up against Izzo or D'Antonio or whoever,
Jim Bob, the janitor.
Yeah, then deal with it. The only thing that I'm hoping, Dorf, is that we don't see any type of outcry that we saw at Penn State if
something happens.
If it turns out that D'Antonio or Izzo were involved in a systematic cover-up across the entire athletic department, I don't want to see those same students out, marching in East Lansing, talking about how they're for the victims of Larry Nassar, all of a sudden start rioting
because Tom Izzo just got canned.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see that. Nor do I want to continue to see or any inkling of people trying to turn this into rivalry fodder. I think
too late. That's already happened.
I think any Michigan fan out there that is trying to use this in the rivalry, you guys are fucking dirtbags. You are fucking dirtbags if that's the angle that you're trying to work here.
Don't forget about the skeletons in your closet.
Quite possibly. But what we see here, the Larry Nassar thing, or whatever may transpire, what may not transpire out of it with the rest of the university.
And that's the other thing, general public. You now have the government involved, so you at least have the best, most impartial investigator you're going to get. If they don't find anything, don't freak out. If there's nothing to find, you know what? If there's nothing to find, then so be it. Things were handled well, like that outside the lines investigation from 2015 to 16, whether or not athletes, if they find that nothing nefarious was happening, accept that verdict. Investigators don't start with a conclusion and then work backwards to try and find evidence. At least they're not supposed to. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
Yep. Yeah.
And it very well could be. Or it could be limited to 2 people, 3 people, 5 people. It very well could be that.
Is political ammunition.
Far more insignificant things have been used as political ammunition.
Well, I think we're in a different political
whatever.
period
I mean,
now,
it's a stretch, and you know what? It's entirely hypothetical. It's not getting hung up on.
So are you?
You guys got? Yeah.
Are you going to march to the ESPN headquarters in Bristol over this?
I haven't watched ESPN in a while, so I mean, it's not going to change anything.
So do you think this was a ratings grab then?
Absolutely.
Is that what it is?
No coincidence that outside the lines horse shit on Friday was ran just because they thought they could level a knockout blow. Okay. Try and bring down 2 other people, 2 other programs with it. Even though the only reason they're related is because A, Mark Hollis, and B, Michigan State University. They have essentially nothing to do with each other. It's just an attempt to bring them all down together. And a poor one at that.
Okay.
Land a clean blow. Provide some evidence more than hearsay. Land a clean blow, and by all means, go nuts outside the lines. You didn't have anything, and you tried to manufacture something about stories that have already been investigated and put to bed. You already had the independent investigation. You already did your own investigation and found out there was nothing going on. All of a sudden, now it's the same evidence is being used for an entirely 180-degree turn. Come on. It's shit journalism to hack, a bullshit headpiece. Anything. That's the problem. Anything else, guys, on this? Sorry, Sean. I know this isn't your...
No, I'm listening. I know about it, but you're just... Get it out. Get it out.
I've been biting my tongue on this for so...
That's what I'm saying. Get it out. It's all good.
Ultimately, I think the only thing that we can do with this, from this standpoint, is let the investigation run take its course.
Right.
And you know what? Accept the result.
Yep. Whether
you've got the big boys on it now.
Yep.
This isn't some bought and paid for private attorney's office that's going to be investigating this with the here's your check, now you know what to do handshake agreement. That's not happening here. Mm-hmm. You have state government involved. You'll probably get the feds involved too. The pros are on this. And if there is evidence, and there's of a cover-up or lack of institution...
The FBI's in tatters, though.
Well, they don't have a president to try and Deep State doesn't have a president to go after and bring down. Hillary's a demon. No, sorry. That's a very bad Alex Jones. You have the best investigative infrastructure available in the United States on it. So, I'm pretty sure that no request for money will be not granted by the state of Michigan to make that investigation go along smoothly and swiftly and thoroughly. So, because guess what? It's a state institution. They got egg on their face too. All right. Anything else?
No.
Tigers, cool. Sports. Tigers, everybody's top 100 prospect list came out over the last week. Depending on who you ask, the Tigers have between 2 and 4 guys in the top 100. Those being Matt Manning, Bo Burrows, Alex Faedo, and Franklin Perez. Perez and Manning are on every list. Burrows is only on one. Faedo's on a couple. So that's your last 3 first-round picks.
Wait, who are on every list? Perez and
Manning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On everybody's list. Organization, MLB Pipeline puts them as the number 121 farm system, citing a lack of position player talent, which is abundantly obvious, but highlighted the fact that they have a bunch of frontline starting pitching. This should be ready to go shortly.
Yeah. They have a shit ton of
right-handed power arm starting pitchers.
You
got 4 of them who are... Manning is probably 3 years away still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't it Manning only like 19 or 20 or something like that?
Next year will be his age 20 season.
Yeah, I'm like, he's super young.
And he was super raw coming out anyway, out of high school anyway. Faedo is probably... You probably could see him in September. Same thing with Franklin Perez. You probably could see him in June or July.
Mm-hmm.
And Manning, like I said, is probably 2 or 3 years out still. But...
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
But you lack
in the meantime
any sort of elite position player talent. Yeah, and that's what happens when you A, don't draft well, B, don't ever draft position players, and C, suck balls.
God, who was their last good position player that they had?
That they drafted?
That they drafted?
Castellanos.
Yeah, that's true.
And before that,
oh, Cameron Maben.
You could say that.
He was a very good means to an end.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you Alex Avila in there too. He's been a productive MLB pro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we got James McCann.
Are you back to hating James McCann again?
Yeah.
I just am willing to acknowledge what he is. He's a platoon player. I mean, but at the same time, they haven't produced jack shit out of their own drafts classes or international free agent signings. Oh, by the way, that guy that you traded away for a fucking rental, Willie Adames. Well, he was David Price. 1 year of David Price. It's like the 21st ranked prospect in all of baseball, and he's going to be ready to go right now. He really looked nice at shortstop. But you know what? David Price was a good trade at the time. It was worth it.
Yeah, you're getting David Price. You're getting arguably the best lefty in the game at that point.
The time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I have a list of all these players for first round players, position players. Cameron Maben.
They don't take position. Because of the old, compensatory structure. Like, they didn't have first round picks a couple of times. And other than that, all they did was draft right-handed college power arms.
I was saying, okay, on this list, the last position player that you drafted back then was Tony Clark.
Well, you got Castellanos, who was a Con B in 2009.
He wasn't a first round.
He was. It was a competitive balance selection, first round selection.
On this list.
Yeah, he was like 40. But he was. Remember, that was back when they had the competitive balance rounds.
Yeah.
He was a compensatory.
But I'm just saying, on here, it's right-handed pitcher, lefty, Andrew Miller, right-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
it's
they
crazy.
draft for college righties.
Mm-hmm.
They bucked the trend by going back-to-back high school righties with Manning and Burrows.
Right.
And then they're back right on schedule with college righty.
Yep.
Matt Barnes isn't happy about this Blake Griffin trade.
Really?
Oh, who cares about Matt Barnes?
So you trade this guy after paying him this much money when everyone in the organization, everyone who's played there knows Doc is the problem. Shaking my fucking head.
Is Matt Barnes
Cold
in the league
game.
still?
Make sure you pack a jacket, PG. Yeah, it's pretty cold right now. It's gonna get warmer though.
It's supposed to be like 38 on Wednesday.
I think it's gonna get up in the 40s again on Thursday.
Hey, it was like in the 50s all weekend.
Yeah. So
And then
hey,
it's supposed to drop down back after. So.
Hey, some areas of the state got a foot of snow today.
But think about it. Is it
The Lower Peninsula
was
got a
it
foot of snow today.
15 days still pitchers and catchers report?
Yeah, that's in Florida.
I don't care.
who cares?
It means it's a sign.
Who cares?
I care. All right. Jeez.
Anybody looking forward to this season?
No, but it's baseball.
I'm looking forward to them. Hopefully, I will look forward to this season if they make the tough decisions in spring training and tell V-Mart to get fucking lost.
Hey, I'm all for that.
I know.
You know what else?
Who else is some dead weight on this team that we can tell to get fucking lost?
Let me look.
Jordan Zimmerman. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Zimmerman.
What else you really got?
Yeah, you don't really got much. That's it. Zimmerman.
Okay,
and,
okay,
Martinez.
you guys, let's.
Because you're not going to tell Miguel Cabrera to get fucking lost.
Let's get to the crux of this problem right now. It's the jerseys. All right.
You ever heard of the look good, feel good, play good?
All right, you guys. I mean, come on. I mean, look, I can live with the hat D going on to the jersey itself. I think that's the better D. I think that's the better Old English D.
Let's chop that up. That's the better D.
Yeah.
That sounds great, doesn't it?
Make that into a sound.
Sounder.
But come on. The uniqueness, the quirkiness of the Tigers.
A unique quirk that made it. It was goofy and didn't need to be fixed.
Exactly. It's like the road jerseys where they have almost a completely different color scheme for their road jerseys as opposed to their home jerseys.
Who cares?
I care.
You realize?
I care.
You realize who is sitting across from you?
I care.
I'm
in agreement with you.
Logo.
I know he's a uniform Nazi.
So.
You know what we say about the punch uniform Nazis?
But it's just I don't know. I liked it. I liked the quirkiness that they had to that jersey. And going in and making the D bigger on the hat, it doesn't look good.
It looks like the gas station knockoff.
And again, that's what everybody's saying.
Not an original hot. That's not an original hot take or anything, but it's like perfect.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Look like
it looks
garbage.
like it looks like a knockoff.
No, it also looks like the T-ball hat, the knockoff T-ball hat your kid gets for
like the YMC version of the Tigers.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Or the floppy dad cap that's sweat stained and bleached.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. It seemed unnecessary. Like I said, I can live with the uniform change. That's fine.
Yeah, it's the hat your dad got with a pack of Bud Light 15 years ago.
Exactly. I can't. I really don't like that change up there. It looks dumb. It looks cheap. And why are they conforming to the rest of the league? It's not a local.
I want alternate jerseys.
I wouldn't care.
I want them to go full like Arizona Diamondbacks, and we're going to wear 6 different home unis this year.
I don't.
That's too much.
Yeah, that is too much.
I want an all black uniform.
Oh, shut up!
You want me to have heat strokes?
No, that's a running joke between the two. And I always am an advocate for every football team having an all black uniform.
You know what's the new black now?
Gray.
Yes, gray is the new black. But road uniforms are always gray anyway. So
yeah, baseball's got that backwards.
Yeah,
compared to everybody else.
You know what I heard why they have gray uniforms?
Why is that?
In baseball? It's because they could never wash like back in the early days of baseball.
Before there was textile technology.
Yeah, so they just ended up being gray because they were never washed as often
and
as the home ones.
Get them clean.
Yeah. So they were darker than the home unis. I don't know if that's true or not, but
it's plausible.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it.
Man, I was expecting more ranty rants.
But he told you beforehand that you're going to be disappointed.
I did.
Didn't you say that?
No.
Oh, maybe I was just.
I mean, what's ultimately to rant about? I mean, they're changing it,
and you're gonna suck anyway. So who cares?
I think that I was expecting the D change.
How bad do you think they're gonna suck?
It'll be a miracle if they win 65 games.
I don't know. It's gonna be bad.
It's please not lose 100. Or please lose 100 so we can fire Gardenhire.
Wait! I said that, didn't I?
I don't remember that, but did you?
Yeah, in our last time we had.
All
our
right,
show.
let's root for that. That's what we got to look forward to.
I said that's what's going to happen. You guys laughed at me.
Oh, you predicted that happening.
Yeah, that's what
I still think it's wishful thinking, but I wouldn't mind it happening.
I still don't think it's going to happen, but whatever.
Anything else, guys?
Nope.
All right, that's going to wrap up episode 158 of Motor City Uncut. God, man, we've been doing this way too long. We need to rebrand again.
New name?
I don't know. Taking suggestions that are on Twitter. Shameless and X Detroit. I don't know. It's been like 100 episodes under this name, I believe. Actually, I think it is like our 100th episode.
It is.
We went to like 50. We were into the 50s
when we were.
When it was what was it before?
Detroit Sports Edge.
Yep. We went into the 50s at Detroit Sports Edge and then rebranded. God, man, 100 episodes or so.
Well, what was it, last year or the year before or whatever? We went like 100 freaking shit. Like, we didn't take a week off at all.
We didn't take a week. Our streak in 2016 was like 50.
Yeah, we didn't
take
like
45 straight weeks or something like that. 45 straight weeks.
Was that our Cal Ripken streak?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty good for.
And then we retired it, just like Cal Ripken did.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, we could get on another roll here, assuming we get no more monumental appliance collapses.
That's true.
Or way too much snow. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up here, guys. Same time, same place. Monday nights at we aim for 7 o'clock. It's usually 7:30 Eastern, PM Eastern. Right here on the various different platforms you're listening to us, or catch us on a replay at where are we at? We got YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook.
What SoundCloud? What's Mixler?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a couple other places we're trying to
iTunes.
get into too. Yeah. Search it, you'll find it. All right. So for Sean, Adam, I'm Dorf. We'll see y'all next week. We promise this time. Assuming Adam's appliances don't die.
See ya.